Have you ever wondered why a good night's sleep feels so much harder to come by these days? Last month I spoke with Martha, a vibrant 58-year-old who had always prided herself on being a sound sleeper. "I used to sleep through thunderstorms," she told me, her voice tinged with frustration. "Now, the slightest noise wakes me up, and sometimes I'm wide awake at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling, wondering what happened to the woman who could sleep anywhere, anytime." Martha isn't alone. Studies show that nearly 70% of women over 50 report significant changes in their sleep patterns, changes that often seem to appear overnight, but can have profound effects on their quality of life, health, and even longevity. What is happening to our sleep after 50 isn't just part of getting older, as we often told. There are specific biological and lifestyle factors causing these disruptions, and more importantly, there are solutions most doctors never mention. In today's video, we're going to explore the 5 major ways sleep changes for women after 50, why these changes happen, and most importantly, what you can actually do about them. By the end, you'll understand exactly why your body responds differently to sleep now, and you'll have practical science-backed strategies to reclaim the deep restorative sleep you remember having. Stay with me until the end, because the last strategy I'll share is something rarely discussed but has been shown to improve sleep quality by up to 60% in women over 50. And it doesn't involve a single medication or supplement. Don't miss the final insight. It's one that most people overlook, yet it holds incredible power in predicting what lies ahead. These markers could completely reshape how you see your future and add valuable years to your life. If this has sparked your interest, show your support by hitting the like button, subscribing to our channel, and sharing this video with those you care about. Together, let us make informed choices for a healthier, longer life. Change. 1. Hormonal fluctuations. Transform your sleep architecture. The first and perhaps most dramatic change in women's sleep after 50 involves something most doctors barely discuss: the complete restructuring of your sleep architecture due to hormonal changes. Before menopause, estrogen and progesterone don't just regulate your reproductive system. They play crucial roles in sleep regulation. Estrogen helps your body use serotonin and other neurotransmitters that help maintain sleep, while progesterone has mild sedative properties that can help you fall asleep faster. As these hormones decline during perimenopause and menopause, your entire sleep structure changes. The amount of deep restorative sleep you get, known as slow-wave sleep, decreases significantly, and your REM sleep becomes more fragmented. Take Janet, for example. At 52, she entered perimenopause and suddenly found herself waking up 4 or 5 times each night, something she'd never experienced before. "I thought I was developing anxiety," she told me. "My doctor suggested sleeping pills, but I knew something else was happening in my body." What Janet was experiencing wasn't anxiety. It was her brain adapting to a new hormonal reality. With less estrogen, her body produced less melatonin, your sleep hormone, making it harder to stay asleep. With declining progesterone, she lost that natural sedative effect that had helped her sleep soundly for decades. Here's what you can do. Instead of fighting these hormonal changes, work with them. First, consider timing your activities to your new hormonal rhythm. Many women find that their natural energy peaks shift during menopause. If you notice you were more alert in the morning now, schedule your most demanding tasks then instead of pushing yourself in the evening when your melatonin should be rising. Second, discuss with your doctor whether short-term low-dose hormone therapy might be appropriate specifically for sleep issues. Recent studies show that even a small amount of hormone therapy can improve sleep quality in perimenopausal women when used strategically. Third, support your body's melatonin production naturally by exposing yourself to bright natural light for at least 30 minutes each morning. This helps set your circadian rhythm and boosts serotonin, which later converts to melatonin. Then, in the evening, dim your lights and limit blue light exposure from screens at least 90 minutes before bed to help your body produce melatonin when it should. Remember, your sleep architecture is changing, not failing. Understanding that these changes are normal can reduce anxiety about sleep, which ironically, often makes sleep problems worse. If you are finding these insights valuable, please comment 1 below to let me know you rehear and finding this helpful. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating quality content for women navigating this important transition. Now let us move forward. Change number 2. Temperature regulation problems disrupt your sleep. The second major change that affects women, sleep after 50, is a significant disruption in your body's ability to regulate temperature during sleep. Those notorious night sweats aren't just uncomfortable, they were actually disrupting your sleep cycles in ways you might not realize. Before menopause, your body temperature naturally drops by about 2 degrees to initiate and maintain sleep. This temperature drop is a critical signal to your brain that it is time to sleep deeply. But after 50, as estrogen fluctuates and declines, your body's internal thermostat goes haywire. Consider Elizabeth's experience. At 55, she found herself waking up drenched in sweat nearly every night around 2 a.m. It wasn't just the discomfort of being sweaty, she explained. It was like my body was jolting me awake from the inside out, and once I was up, changed my nightgown and cooled down, falling back asleep felt impossible. What Elizabeth was experiencing goes beyond simple discomfort. Each time her body temperature surged, it pulled her from deeper sleep stages into lighter ones, preventing her from getting the restorative sleep she needed. Over time, this fragmented sleep led to daytime fatigue, mood changes, and even affected her cognitive function. Here's what you can do. Instead of just treating the symptom, create a sleep environment that actively supports temperature regulation. First, consider layering your bedding rather than using one heavy blanket or comforter. This allows you to easily adjust your covering during the night without fully waking up. Many women find that wool or specialized cooling blankets work better than synthetic materials. Second, your sleepwear matters more now than ever. Look for moisture-wicking fabrics specifically designed for night sweats, or consider cooling pajamas made with technical fabrics similar to what athletes wear. Third, pre-cool your bedroom to between 65-67 degrees Fahrenheit, 18-19 Celsius, before bedtime. Studies show this temperature range optimizes sleep for most adults, but it's especially important for menopausal women. A programmable thermostat that automatically lowers the temperature at night can be a worthwhile investment. Finally, consider using a cooling mattress pad or pillow. New technologies have created bedding that actively draws heat away from your body throughout the night, maintaining a more consistent temperature. By proactively managing your sleep temperature instead of just reacting to night sweats, you can reduce the frequency and intensity of these episodes and protect your sleep cycles from constant disruption. If you are still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment 2 below to let me know you rehear. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Your support means everything to us. Now let us continue with our third major change. Change number 3. Stress response amplification keeps you alert at night. The third significant change that affects women's sleep after 50 is what researchers now call stress response amplification. And it might explain why you find yourself wide awake worrying at 3 a.m. more often than ever before. During perimenopause and menopause, the delicate balance between estrogen and cortisol, your primary stress hormone, shifts dramatically. With declining estrogen, your body becomes more sensitive to cortisol, essentially amplifying your stress response. This means that stressors that you once handled easily now trigger a stronger physical reaction, especially at night. Take Margaret's story. At 61, she found herself routinely waking up around 2 a.m. with her mind racing about work deadlines, family concerns, or sometimes nothing specific at all. "I never used to be a worrier," she told me. "Now it seems like my brain had shut off, especially in the middle of the night. The smallest issue feels overwhelming in those dark hours." What Margaret experienced wasn't an increase in actual problems. It was her brain's new, heightened reaction to normal stressors. Research shows that women in menopause often have higher nighttime cortisol levels, which directly inhibits melatonin, and prevents deep sleep. Even mild daily stressors can trigger this amplified response. Here's what you can do. Instead of just trying to worry less, which rarely works, implement strategies that directly address this hormonal imbalance. First, create a worry download ritual at least 2 hours before bed. Take 10 minutes to write down everything concerning you, big or small, to signal to your brain that these thoughts can wait until morning. This simple practice has been shown to reduce middle-of-the-night rumination by giving your mind permission to temporarily set aside concerns. Second, adopt targeted stress reduction techniques specifically in the evening hours when this cortisol sensitivity is highest. Activities like gentle yoga, progressive muscle relaxation, or guided meditation between 8-10 p.m. have been shown to significantly lower nighttime cortisol levels in menopausal women. Third, consider adaptogens, herbs that help modulate your stress response. Research shows that certain adaptogens like ashwagandha can help balance cortisol levels, with some studies suggesting they are particularly effective during menopause. Always consult with your healthcare provider before starting any supplement. Finally, limit evening news and social media consumption. Your heightened stress response makes you more vulnerable to external stressors, and the constant stream of negative news can trigger cortisol spikes that linger into your sleep hours. By understanding and directly addressing this increased stress sensitivity, you can prevent cortisol from sabotaging your sleep and break the cycle of nighttime worry that leaves you exhausted the next day. If you are still watching and finding value in these insights, please comment 3 below to let me know. Your engagement helps us tremendously. Now, let us move on to our fourth major change. Change number 4, sleep disruptive health conditions emerge after 50. The fourth significant change affecting women's sleep after 50 is the emergence or worsening of specific health conditions that directly impact sleep quality, conditions that are far more common in women than men in this age group. After 50, women become significantly more vulnerable to certain health issues that are notorious sleep disruptors. Restless leg syndrome affects women at twice the rate of men after menopause. Sleep apnea risk increases by 30% during menopause. And chronic pain conditions like fibromyalgia and arthritis, both more prevalent in older women, intensify during the night hours. Consider Diane's experience. At 57, she started experiencing uncomfortable sensations in her legs as soon as she lay down to sleep. A crawling, tingling feeling that made it impossible to relax. I'd have to get up and walk around several times before I could finally fall asleep, she explained. My doctor just said it was part of aging, but I knew something specific was happening. Diane was experiencing restless leg syndrome, which research now shows is closely linked to falling iron and estrogen levels after menopause. Similarly, sleep apnea often goes undiagnosed in women because it presents differently than in men. Women are more likely to report insomnia, fatigue, and mood issues rather than the classic loud snoring. Here is what you can do. Instead of accepting these conditions as inevitable parts of aging, take targeted action to address them. First, if you experience restless or uncomfortable sensations in your legs at night, ask your doctor specifically about testing your ferritin levels, not just standard iron tests. Studies show that ferritin levels below 50 ng/ml can trigger RLS symptoms, yet many labs report anything above 20 as normal. Second, if you wake up feeling unrefreshed despite adequate sleep time, consider asking about a sleep study. Sleep apnea in women often doesn't present with loud snoring, but instead manifests as frequent awakenings, morning headaches, or unexplained fatigue. Third, for arthritis and other pain conditions that worsen at night, timing your pain medication matters more than you might think. Research shows that taking anti-inflammatory medications about 4 to 6 hours before bedtime, rather than at bedtime itself, provides better coverage during those critical early morning hours when inflammation naturally peaks. Finally, consider that some common medications prescribed after 50 can significantly disrupt sleep. Certain blood pressure medications, statins, and even some antidepressants can interfere with sleep quality. Ask your doctor about the sleep effects of your medications and whether taking them at a different time could improve your sleep. By identifying and addressing these specific health conditions rather than blaming general aging, You can often resolve sleep problems that seem permanent but are actually treatable. If you are still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment 4 below to let me know you re-here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Now let us move on to our fifth and final change, the one most doctors never discuss. Change number 5, your circadian rhythm shifts. Earlier. The fifth and perhaps most overlooked change in women's sleep after 50 is a significant forward shift in your natural circadian rhythm, a change that fights against our modern lifestyle, but could actually improve your sleep if you work with it rather than against it. Research shows that as women move through menopause, their internal body clock naturally shifts earlier, often by as much as 1 to 2 hours. This means your body naturally wants to fall asleep earlier and wake earlier than it did in your 30s and 40s. Fighting against this natural shift by maintaining late bedtimes can significantly worsen sleep quality. Consider Patricia's story. At 63, she continued her lifelong habit of staying up until midnight, but found herself waking unrefreshably at 5:30 a.m. regardless of when she went to bed. "I felt tired all the time," she shared, "and I was fighting exhaustion by 7 p.m. but would push through because I didn't want to go to bed early like an old lady. Then I'd get a second wind around 9 p.m. and stay up way too late." What Patricia didn't realize was that her body was giving her clear signals about its new natural rhythm. Her evening fatigue around 7 or 8 p.m. was her body's new melatonin release window, the perfect time to start winding down. By ignoring this signal and pushing through until midnight, she was forcing herself to stay awake during her body's natural sleep window, resulting in poor quality sleep regardless of how many hours she spent in bed. Here is what you can do. Instead of fighting this natural shift, strategically align your life with it. First, pay attention to when you naturally feel sleepy in the evening, not when you eventually go to bed after pushing through fatigue. This natural wave of sleepiness is your body's melatonin surge, and going to bed within that window typically results in falling asleep faster and staying asleep longer. Second, front-load your day with your most important activities. Many women find that their cognitive peak shifts earlier after 50. Instead of fighting mental fatigue in the evening, schedule important work, creative projects, or exercise in the morning and early afternoon when your body is naturally more alert. Third, consider a split sleep approach if social obligations keep you up later than your body prefers. Research on circadian rhythms suggests that for some people, especially after 50, sleeping for 6 hours at night and taking a 30-60-minute afternoon nap may actually be more restorative than forcing yourself to stay in bed for 8 straight hours at the wrong circadian time. Finally, expose yourself to bright outdoor light first thing in the morning and limit light exposure in the evening. This helps reinforce your body's natural earlier rhythm instead of confusing it with artificial light that delays melatonin production. By working with your body's new circadian preference instead of fighting it, you can dramatically improve your sleep quality, cognitive function, and overall energy levels throughout the day. We've covered the 5 major changes that transform women's sleep after 50. Hormonal fluctuations that restructure sleep architecture, temperature regulation problems, stress response amplification, the emergence of sleep-disruptive health conditions, and the natural forward shift in circadian rhythm. Understanding these changes isn't just interesting, it's empowering. When you recognize that these sleep disruptions aren't random or simply part of getting older, you can take specific actions to address each one. The truth is, while sleep does change after 50, it doesn't have to deteriorate. Many women actually report better sleep in their 60s and beyond once they understand and adapt to these changes rather than fighting against them. Think of it this way. Your body isn't failing you. It's evolving. The same hormonal wisdom that guided you through puberty, possibly pregnancy, and decades of cycling, is now guiding you into a new phase with different needs and rhythms. Your task isn't to force your body to sleep like it did at 30, but to learn its new language and respond accordingly. Start with just one change this week. Perhaps it is cooling your bedroom, adjusting your bedtime to align with your natural sleepiness, or implementing that evening worry download ritual. Small, consistent changes often yield better results than dramatic overhauls that are hard to maintain. Remember Martha from the beginning of our video? After implementing several of these strategies, she reported sleeping through the night for the first time in years. "I am not fighting my body anymore," she told me. "Once I understood what was happening and stopped seeing it as a problem to fix, everything changed." Your sleep after 50 can be deep, restorative, and satisfying, perhaps in a different pattern than before, but no less refreshing. With the right approach, many women find that their second half brings some of the most restful sleep of their lives. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Which of these changes resonated most with your experience? Leave a comment below, sharing one insight you gained today and how you plan to implement it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, and reading your comments gives us great motivation to continue creating content that truly helps. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who might benefit. Your support helps us continue creating quality content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.